In Chapter 4, we're studying digests and topical classification systems. And the title of this chapter is really important because digest is what we're using, and topical classification is what is going to help us conduct our research. Your textbook talks about a lot of different types of digests. Primarily in this class, we're going to use the Nexis Uni Online Digest. And so I want to make sure you read everything in this chapter so that you are aware of those other digests. But again, we're going to use exclusively the Nexis Uni Online Digest for our research purposes. And that's why I'm doing this video, because some of the things you'll learn in the textbook we're going to have to adapt to the Nexis Uni. And what I want to work on today is how to start with a descriptive word index method, or as Nexis Uni calls it, a core terms method, and build on the information we find until we get to the case we want. I really like this illustration 4-4 because brainstorming is the way that I start a lot of my research, and also the way that I'd suggest you start your research. As you familiarize yourself with a client file, you start to get an idea of the facts of the case. And you take those facts and turn it into this brainstorming list. We're going to break it down by people or parties, place, things, activity, action, and defense. You don't always have to use these headings. Sometimes you may use 1, 2, or 3 of them, but not all of them. And you may want to change them depending on your needs. For today, we're going to stick with what we see in illustration 4-4. The scenario that your textbook uses to try to teach you about the descriptive word index method is very much like our Ipanya case in the law simulation. It has to do with a slip and fall accident in a grocery store. And the textbook suggests that as you think about the facts of the case, you'll start to come up with these keywords, these core terms: customer, patron, buyer, purchaser, grocer, supermarket. The place might be the grocery store, the supermarket. The thing that the plaintiff slipped on, a banana peel. The activity is a slip and fall, action and negligence, and any defenses, contributory or comparative negligence. Now for our purposes, we're going to use Nexis Uni. So remember, in order to get to Nexis Uni, we come to Student Resources, click on LRC, scroll down until we see Databases, click on the letter N, scroll down until we find Nexis Uni, and we want to set our first parameter to legal. In the example from the book, we're looking for a slip and fall case. And the most likely place to find what I'm looking for is in the North Carolina court system. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on Cases and then pick my jurisdiction. As you can see, you can pick federal courts, federal circuit courts, or states and territories. And I'm going to select North Carolina. Next, we'll come back and enter some of our descriptive or core terms. So if we go back and look at our list, we can take these terms and type them in to our search box right here. Now remember, when you're searching in Nexis Uni, you're using Boolean connector terms. You may need to play around with these and try commas or and or any of the other Boolean search terms. I'd really suggest you review Boolean search term for beginners in your read file. Now I'm going to leave my search fairly broad. I'm going to search all available dates and click on the search icon. And as you can see, it brings up some cases for us. Now we move on to step 3, which is refining our search. You can see this first one looks pretty promising. We've got banana peel, supermarket, we've got slip and fall, and we've got some negligence in here, but it's a fairly old case. It is a Supreme Court case, so that's good. It's going to be primary authority. But it is pretty old, so we're going to need to do some more work. So what I'm going to do is come back and broaden my search a little bit. And this is where you can start to play with your Boolean search terms. You can use fewer words, or you can use commas in between the words, and that will broaden your results. And then click Search again. And you'll see that gets me quite a few more options here to go through. So I might try to sort these to see if I can find a newer case. And what I usually start with is court highest. That's going to give me the highest court opinion that includes those terms. Unfortunately, in this instance, I didn't get a much more recent case. So what I need to do is try sorting by another parameter. I'm going to try sorting by date, newest to oldest. And you can see that that brings up a case from 2010, which is not brand new, but at least it's newer than the 1967 case we had previously. So I like this case. It is newer, not brand new. It has some of the keywords that I'm looking for, and it's from the Court of Appeals. So I'm going to go ahead and open this case up and see if it can help me find anything better, or if this is the one I want to use. Now, as I look through this case, I can start to scroll down, and I'll see these core terms. Those can be really helpful because there may be something in there that I didn't think of during my brainstorming session. So that can be really helpful in continuing my search beyond and maybe getting a little bit more specific than I was able to with just my brainstorming. So I might go back and start the search over using some more of these core terms, or if I like this case, I can go on to the next step. And that means I'm either going to use the topic outline method or the one good case method. If I really like this case, then I can use this as my one good on-point case and start to or continue my research from this point. I want to provide you with another way to use Nexis Uni to conduct a descriptive word or a core terms search. So this time we're going to start out by clicking legal. Then we're going to choose our jurisdiction. We'll go back to North Carolina. And then as you scroll down, you're going to see a list of parameters here: number, citation, history, core terms. Those search parameters correspond to parts of cases. So you'll see here citation corresponds with the citation for the case, and core terms correspond with the core terms for the case. So in other words, if we put search terms in this core terms box, it's going to search just this part of the cases that are part of our parameters. So let's give that a try. We'll try supermarket and slip. And then we'll search. And the first case you'll see here is a Fourth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals case. The Fourth Circuit is, of course, the circuit of which North Carolina is a part. Then the second case here is a North Carolina Supreme Court course. I don't know whether this is a good case or not. I just wanted to give you an alternate method of searching using core terms. So back to the textbook, what I really want you to understand here is how to layer these different methods on top of each other. I usually start out with this descriptive word index method, go through my brainstorming session, come up with some options, and then possibly use a topic outline or the one good case method once I get to the place I want to be. Hope that was helpful. You're going to use that search method or either of those search methods quite a bit this week, and I really want to make sure that you're starting to get comfortable with it, because we're going to continue to build and continue to use this method throughout the semester.